New at noon, Governor Rick Scott is in the area considered ground zero for transmission of the Zika virus. He toured Wynwood today.
And aerial spraying to kill the mosquitoes also going on in Wynwood. Crews sprayed a 10 square mile area where locally acquired cases of that virus are now being reported. And let's turn right now to our team coverage on Zika fears. Local 10 News reporter Glenna Milberg and Local 10 News reporter Erica Rayco, both live in Wynwood. We'll get things started with Glenna.
Good afternoon. You know, ground zero is so apropos here, ladies, because this is absolutely the focus of Zika nationally right now. We're actually at the Senior Center in Wynwood, and meeting behind us and taking a tour here is the governor, the head of the CDC, several representatives of Congress. You have the state surgeon general. They're all here to powwow and get on the same message. Absolutely, messaging is a very big deal as we transmit the tone of Zika coverage, not only locally but across the country. One of the news items that I think came out from this morning was this. The governor says that 20,000 mosquitoes have been tested and no Zika has been found at all, which raises a very big question that no one's been able to answer at the moment. How did 15 people in 1 square mile here in Wynwood contract Zika if nothing is found just yet? That said, let me take you to some video of what the governor has been doing today. He's been in Wynwood area since this morning. The focus for him very clearly on the businesses here. He made a very big deal about talking about how he had breakfast at a local bakery, how everything was great. He went business to business. He's so concerned that the travel advisory, an unprecedented travel advisory, warning pregnant women against this particular area of Miami is going to have a detrimental effect on not only tourism, but on local businesses as well. He did talk about how the federal government has not been a very good partner. This, as you know, has been so political with Congress stuck on funding. So far, the money being spent on mosquito eradication and other things has been state money, mostly. And one of the big questions is, how do pregnant women get tested if they need be? Let you listen to the governor on that account.
We're starting with this area, the 1 mile square radius, and saying anybody that's pregnant can get a free test at the Department of Health. Then what we're doing, we're buying test kits as quickly as we can, and we'll roll that out around the state to make sure that anybody that's pregnant that wants to be tested for Zika can go for free to the county health department. So we're going to work very rapidly to roll this out all across the state.
So let me just show you a live picture now from where we were. People playing dominoes. This is one of the big games here at the Senior Center, but what you should be looking at there is how people are playing dominoes sleeveless, no mosquito repellent. I'm wearing long sleeves and sweating heavily. That is the big message here that everyone has been trying to get out, is how to A, prepare yourself to not get Zika, and B, how to prepare homes and businesses by eradicating standing water. So that is very clearly the messaging going out. Right now, Mayor Carlos Jimenez, Miami-Dade County's mayor, is arriving. You know, he's been a visible presence in the last few days for the reasons we talked about. He is going to be talking about the efforts of the county in mosquito eradication. You'll hear a little bit more about that in a moment. But right now, everyone right here at the Senior Center is meeting, and we hope to have some more information from this very important meeting later on today. I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Glenna. And our team coverage, of course, does continue right now on Zika fears going on in Wynwood and all across South Florida.
Yeah, Local 10 News reporter Erica Rayco is live with an update on the aerial spraying that happened today.
It did happen today, Constance. It was actually delayed, scheduled to have taken place yesterday morning, but due to some weather, it had to be postponed. This is a plane that was especially brought in from Sarasota, actually the crew as well, not from the Miami area. They landed at the Miami Executive Airport yesterday. They were finally able to get off the ground today, and as soon as that operation was done, the efforts continue here in Wynwood. Before the sun came up this morning, this plane loaded up with chemicals. It took off from the Miami Executive Airport at 6 a.m., a short 5-minute flight to Wynwood, where the crew sprayed the insecticide over the neighborhood for about an hour. This was done over the 10 square mile area now known as the Zika zone to reduce the number of mosquitoes.
Did you use insect repellent?
A couple of hours later, the efforts continue on the ground. At dusk, when mosquitoes are known to be very active, Commissioner Audrey Edmondson walks the streets of Wynwood, talking with business owners, residents, and with visitors.
I'm just here to warn them, educate them, and if they need some of our swabs, to give it to them.
The commissioner handed out insect repellent wipes, stacks of them, and literature to businesses to give to their customers. Some visitors only finding out about Zika now.
You can have a lot of people, especially tourists, that comes to this area and they're unaware that we even have the Zika virus here and have people who have contracted this disease.
You didn't know about Zika?
Oh, we did, but we were not that worried, I guess.
Commissioner Edmondson says she'll continue to walk through Miami neighborhoods in the coming days. And combating Zika from the air, the mayor has requested aerial spraying be done every 7 days for the next 4 weeks.
Bird baths, that means discarded cups, that means discarded containers. This is a very difficult mosquito to control. And this is a really vibrant neighborhood. There's a lot going on here. There's construction, there's industrial, there's retail, there's residential, and that makes it a particular challenge for mosquito control. But I'm very impressed with how intensive their efforts are. You know, today is Thursday. It was only over the weekend that we confirmed that there was the risk of ongoing transmission here. We had weather conditions over the last 2 nights that didn't allow aerial application of NALED, the pesticide. This morning, the earliest time aerial conditions allowed that, the county went ahead and did that, and that is a very important measure to knock down mosquito populations, in addition to everything else being done to get rid of standing water and to also look. We saw teams out there already looking to see if there's anyone else infected in this area. There is no information to suggest that there's risk anywhere else in Miami outside of this 1 mile area. In fact, the area that we're concerned about is about 500 square feet, right in the middle of the 1 mile radius where there have been infections. That 1 mile radius gives you a buffer zone around that 500 square foot area. That is consistent with CDC recommendations. We don't see any higher risk anywhere else in Miami that to any other place in the southern U.S. where we have Aedes aegypti mosquito present and the possibility that there could be infections. That's why we encourage women all over the U.S. to take steps to protect themselves against mosquito bites with mosquito repellent, long sleeves, and staying indoors in air-conditioned or screened space when possible.
Can this be stopped in its tracks, or do you see yourself meeting with governors of other states in the future?
Well, you really have to understand how this particular mosquito spreads. It's very local and focal. It is a particular area, a particular mosquito that doesn't travel more than about 150 meters, 500 feet in its life. So our goal is to work in support of the county and the state and the city here in this community to stop it as quickly as possible here. But we know as long as mosquito season continues, pregnant women all over where there are Aedes mosquitoes present should wear mosquito repellent, long sleeves, and to the extent possible stay indoors.
We can take one more. About other areas of South Florida, here or in Broward County.
It's really important that everywhere these mosquitoes are present, we are on our guard, and that means that health departments, doctors test people with symptoms to see if they might have the infection, and it means that pregnant women in particular protect themselves by wearing mosquito repellent, long sleeves, and staying indoors when possible.
Doctor, one quick question. With the travel advisory, we have local leaders who are upset about that because of tourism. Did we really need that travel advisory for Wynwood?
We understand that it's a real difficulty, a financial burden on businesses in this area. We wish we didn't have to do it, but we have a duty to warn. We have a duty to inform people about what's going on. And when we saw that it does appear that there has been spread in this area for several weeks and that the mosquito populations weren't yet coming down, we had no alternative but to agree with the state of Florida and advise that it's specific for pregnant women. And we will keep looking at it every single day. We understand it's a hardship, but we do feel the public has a right to know. And for pregnant women, we ask them to not travel to this very small 1 mile radius area just north of downtown Miami.
So just to be clear, if you're a pregnant woman and you want to travel to South Florida, it's safe to go anywhere in South Florida except for the Wynwood neighborhood.
The only place where we've issued a travel advisory is this 1 mile radius where we're standing in now around Wynwood. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. We're going to do something at 3:30 as well, and we have to get back on.
Okay.
All right, so you've just been listening to the head of the Centers for Disease Control out of Atlanta. Tom Frieden is his name. He is part of a great big meeting here at a senior center in Wynwood involving every layer of government involved in this Zika fight, from Miami-Dade County to the state level, the Surgeon General and the governor, to, of course, the CDC on a national level. I think the takeaway from what he was talking about is this. Number one, the messaging about how this should not be scary to people, and pregnant women who are rightfully scared at the moment, I think, should be taking the utmost precaution. And number two, I think a takeaway is there is so much testing and sampling going on, but still there's no one who can give a definitive answer as to how 15 people became locally infected in 1 square mile in Miami, because as we heard earlier, 20,000 mosquitoes have been tested by the state, and not one of them has proven to be infected with the Zika virus. So the focus today for all involved, powwowing, getting everyone on the same page. I think there is this continuing call for Congress to reconvene and allocate some serious money to this effort. So far, we have not heard that that's happening. There are congressional delegation members from Florida here, at least 2 or 3 more are on the way. And I think what's so interesting about this Zika case locally is, for almost the first time in recent memory, the Florida delegation from both parties, Christie, Constance, they're all on the same page. This is not a political fight locally, this is a political fight nationally.